Okay, so yesterday we started with the information security management. So we have seen what is information security management and also the benefits of it. And we now know the difference between IT security and information security management. So when though these terms information security and IT security, though it is synonymous, but from yesterday's class, I hope it's clear that both mean the different thing. Because IT security will only involve the softwares that we are using, but information security this will involve all other things like the external entities, okay, the admin department, so any other users. So all these things will be any deadlines, all these things will be coming under the information security. So it is much more than the IT security. So today we are going to study about the performance optimization. Okay, so what do you mean by performance optimization and what role does it play in the information security management? So we'll study on that. Okay, first let me share the slide with you. So, as you people are already aware that performance optimization, or you can say same thing as the process optimization, is a very important part of any process. Okay, so whether like it's a normal process like a software process or it's the information security process, if you if your performance is not good, ultimately what if your it will lead to the death of the process, right? If your performance is not good, ultimately the company or the process may not survive in the later stage. So it is same with the information security management too. Like okay, it will be continuously on the move, okay, and involving we have to like make it adaptable to the situation or the environment changes. Okay, so we should that is why for a company also, even in humans case, okay, for individuals case also, we must try to like adapt to the changes, or like we should continuously try to improve our performance, right? So that is how we have to, because there is competition everywhere, right? So we have to make sure that we are in the run. Otherwise, it will lead to something called as a slow death. That is, which we will be finding place in nowhere. Similarly, for information security management system, we have some few standards. So first is this one, ISO 27001. So yesterday also we defined about the standards where it's controls. I think 133 guideline controls are defined, and also all the rules and regulations for the security. So basically, this will define, as you see, define how to implement an information security management system for the organization. So all the standards and the guidelines are defined in this ISO 27001. So basically, it's a strategic decision taken by the company based on its business and security requirements, its risk profile and appetite, controls and processes that are employed, and the number of employees within the organization. See, the ISO 27001, it is a like security management standard. Okay, so if any risk is there, so you can just adopt it, but it will totally depend upon the organization. So whether you should go for these standards or not. Because if you go for this kind of certifications, obviously cost is involved. So it will totally depend upon the size of the organization, the employees working. So if it is a small company, I think going for the standards, it will be costly for an organization. So this again we have this. I told you this is a certifiable standard. Unlike the we have studied also about the ISO 31000, which was not meant for certification. So this what it means, if you see any product also, when you'll find it is ISO certified. That means it is it that it I told you this ISO, that means they like refer to, they contain certain standards, right? They like maintain the standards. So if their product is ISO certified, which means it complies to the rules of the ISO. So that means it is the best quality. But though ISO 27001 is a certified standard for security, we have, unlike uncertified also, like the 3731 triple zero, it's not for any certification. Okay, so we have this ISO Again, we have ISO 27002. It's basically the list of all the available controls for ISMS. So basically, the 27001 is for the security standards, and here it controls 27002 contains the list of available controls for the information security management system. So these controls are very generic and can be adopted by any organization. So here this ISO 27002, so it can be adopted by any organization, and it has 33 controls, because see, for the security, for the ISO 27001, I told you it will based on the resource type, it is type of the organization. So and it will be costly because it is highly secure. But for this 27002, any company can go for certain certifications, because uh, as you can see, there are 33 controls, but there was 133 controls. Okay. uh, and the scope that are not in scope of the organization have to be declared start in the statement of applicability. Just like any organization wide initiative, even for the implementation of the information security management system, management support is vital. So for now, you know that top management support is very essential in every aspect. Otherwise, no matter whatever certified you are, your company will not run, right? If you are, that is why it's required that support is there from the management. Next, the performance optimization steps in what are the steps involved in the ISMS process. So first is the scope definition. So you can just see the first step is the scope definition. The scope definition, what it will include, it will define the nature of the business, the organization culture, structure, location, information, assets, and technology. So any exclusion should be defined here. Whatever things are not included, you have to define in the scope definition. Okay, and with the appropriate justification. So a statement of applicability have to be drawn up, like mentioning all file is in the scope or it is the out of scope, and it has like any of the 33 controls in the ISO 27001, it should be clearly mentioned in the scope definition. Okay, so if you are not going for it, then next is the draw of the second is the uh, draw drop the in asset inventory. So you can see the next step is a process is to come out with the all the important information assets for the organization. So first is the scope definition. So once you are done with the scope definition, you have to come up with something that needs to record the information, and we do that, we record that information. It's something known as an asset register. Okay, we maintain a register where we record all this thing, we write the details of it, the scope and everything, and then so that basically the information regarding the asset. So it can be the type of the asset, or the format, or the location of the asset, or the backup facility, okay, or business value. All these things are recorded in the asset register. So something, if we have done, we have recorded the information, we have to think about the risk assessment also. So we are now aware that there will be something, we have to, how if any risk arises, how will we try to access those. So you see, once the assets are drawn up, the next step is to identify any risk to the information asset, right? We have to, whenever we have found out, we take up a project or we go for a project, we have to think about first we declare the scope definition, and then we find that we have recorded the information, like for the requirement gathering also in the software engineering. After, we have to find for the risk analysis whether there is any risk associated with it or not. So all the the risk needs to be identified, analyzed, and then prioritized against the risk profile and risk profile. So what happens that risk identification and analysis have and assessment are done in this tab, that are carried out throughout the organization by the respective asset owners. Okay, so the information security risk assessment should have to be should have first a well defined scope, and then we have also it's very required that it should align with the risk assessment. Okay, Next, and the last one is the risk treatment. So if you have analyzed the risk, so you should something have a risk treatment plan also. How will, if you have analyzed it, so how will you treat those risks? So that is very important. So we have to draw up a risk treatment plan with appropriate actions, resources, what actions needs to be taken, right? Responsibilities and priorities, like if there is a risk, who will take the responsibility, that is also very important. So the risk treatment plan or the RTP should lie within the purview of the organization's information security policy. Okay. So this the key is to do the key is to do the document to the entire PDCA. So this PDCA is a model which is known also as the plan, do, check, act. Okay, life cycle. Like we have this life software life cycle, right? So here is the PDCA life cycle. So here, what does the performance optimization like? So PD. Hmm. So basically it applies to the various levels of the ISMS, that is the Information Security Management System Security, and there will be very cycles to that. Basically, it's an iterative process. So the first principle is the iteration. So you can just check here in the diagram that after you have planned, you do it, you check it, if you act, you again, then it is not stopping here. Okay, it's a repetitive process. So the first principle of the PDCA is the iteration. Okay, another phase is that separation. Another principle is that separation of each of these phases, since measurements taken during the previous phase have to be implemented. Okay, so you have to take like that. Like what are the measurements? Suppose it's a do state. So what are the measurements you have taken in the planning? Okay, then it's the check state. Whatever the measurements you have taken in the do states have to be uh, like this is done. Why? Because we are going for continuous improvement. Okay, so coming back to the cycle, so we have, you can just from the cycle only you can check there are basically 4 steps. It will emphasize on 4 steps. So first is the planning stage, that is the here the information security management system is established. So here all the policies, procedures, objectives with reference to the organization, information security and risk are established. Okay, here all this planning part is taken place. So whatever the metrics is required. Okay, then the performance targets. I told you, like it's very important for an organization that their objectives and scopes are clearly defined at the beginning. Okay, in the planning only. So to achieve a perfect project. Similarly, in the planning part, it is very important that we establish the target, like what is the performance target we want from the project. Okay, the targets, then metrics of performance, how will you measure? So planning is a very important step, what policies we will follow. So that is planning, and once you have planned, you have to act accordingly, right? So basically this process will involve the implementing the policies, that procedures and controls across the organization. So whichever you have decided in the planning phase, we have to implement it. Okay, basically the all the IMMS procedures implementation, which is done as a part of the do cycle of the PDCA. Okay, and the risk treatment plan should also be implemented. How, if there is a risk, because when you like implement it, you will be obviously getting some risk. So you have to like try to mitigate the risk. Okay, so you have to migrate the risk, because it is not, as we have studied in the previous chapters, that it is not possible to like eliminate the risk, but obviously we can reduce it. So the resources required for each the risk treatment should be also allocated in this phase. And the next one is the check on the compliance review. So basically this process is all about the monitoring and the reviewing of the process. Okay, whatever the things you have implemented in this do process, you are checking whether it's working properly or not. So during this phase only the performance of the process is compared with the policies. Okay, so whatever you have planned, whether it's match, the implementation is matching with the policies or not, because and the So this for that purpose, management reviews are done at least once in a year. Like we have studied about the auditing, I told you. These reviews are done so to check whether your implementation is going on the same direction as it was planned, right? And the last one is the actives. So based on the results you are getting on the check process, so any corrective or preventive actions are to be taken in the policies or not. So whatever the results you are getting, do we need to check it into the uh, we have to change in the policies or not? So these are the all the issues we are facing need to be taken care in the next phase. Hence, it improves the information security management system process. Okay, so that is why it is an iterative process. I hope you people remember about the spiral model in software engineering. In there also, we have seen that it is a spiral. It means spiral means an iterative process, right? So it will first plan, then it will plan the policies, and then what it does, it takes the action accordingly, and then it checks whether the actions taken matches with the planning or not. That is the scopes or the uh, scopes or the policies or the procedures or not. And once it is done, they will take corrective action. If it does not match, so what it will do, it will again making the changes in the policies, add new policies, and this process will continue. And this is how it improves its performance. That is how performance is optimized. Okay, so this PDCA, that is the this plan do correct check and act will basically it suppose measure jumps in performance. Okay, so in small increments, so you can find in that measure jumps are there. Okay, so lots of like yes, once you have acted, you can go the plan and change and it like results in like huge performance optimization. Okay, so you can found, so that is why it is said that this PDCA it will improve because it's an iterative process. Okay, it's an iterative process. If you find any error also, and if you find any problem with the planning also, you can just change it in the next iteration. So that is why it is like it results in huge performance optimization. Next, coming to the process optimization or key performance optimization of the ISMS, that is the Information Security Management. So you can see the key to performance optimization is basically to uh, determine where you stand or what the maturity level of a process is. So all these things like so this how this can be achieved, like if you performance, so it's basically where you stand or how the maturity levels is, how will you achieve. So it can be achieved like if you have proper objectives. Okay, so proper objectives for each of the processes which you identify, and which of the processes are on track. So we have to monitor the process which processes need improvement. You have to monitor it. And next is the top in management. So obviously the top management has invested a lot on the implementation of the information security management process across the organization, and would certainly like to know the return of the investment. So the management people, they have invested money on the project, so they have the right, and they will know like how it is adding, because ultimately if they are investing, they want the return of their value, right? The return or the profit from that value. So how it is implementing those things, they need to questions, and that is how they ask the questions. So this kind of questions are asked in the review process, that the annual auditing process, like has the security improved over the years after implementing the ISMS, etc. So like so this when they invest, the top managements, they when they go for this auditing, they ask such kind of questions like how is the organization how is the organization placed against its peers and competitors. The answer to all the above question is answered. So these questions are answered with the help of a security metric. Now the security metric, so it's given a definition by the person's name, brought by WK of Taylor and Francis Group LLC broker. So they have defined security metrics as so metrics basically is a term used to denote a measure based on a reference and involves at least 2 points, the measure and the reference. The security in its basic meaning is the protection from or absence of danger. Literally, security metrics should tell us about the state or degree of safety relative to a reference point and what to do to avoid danger. So this is the security metric. So they tell us, this was a definition given by these persons. They tell that it should be able to it should be able to tell the state or degree the reference point and what to do when there is what to do with, what actions we should take to avoid the dangers. Okay, so the security metrics have numerous benefits why people should go for the security metrics. The first one is the, as you can see, it's the security metrics helps in communicating the performance to the top management. Right. So I told you just now, we have discussed that top management should be aware, like, because they are investing in this process. So what benefit they are getting or what problems they are facing after implementing their process. So that helps in the communication and also driving the performance in improvement. So when the top management is into, so they can just take the decision. Okay, the and which will ultimately help in the performance improvement, then also measuring the effectiveness of the implemented control. So whatever policies they have drawn, whether they are working it properly, because policies are made by the top management, right, all these procedures. So whether it is effective or not, or if it is effective, how much effective. So other, if there is any security problems, they can diagnose it, they can just find what is the problems that related to the security they have, then pinpointing the accountability. So if there is any mistake, they can pinpoint it. Okay, they can tell you that there is a mistake here. Then they, or the top management also helps in the resource allocation. Okay, if more number of people are required or less number of people are required, are totally done by the top management. Okay, demonstrates the security compliance. So if any problem you have, like what are the standards, so they can do, and that loves the benchmarking. These are the process, like these are the why do we need a security metrics. Okay, these are the important ways. And sorry, and next, what are the things good security metric can have. So this was a security metric, and this is, but good security metrics should satisfy, like uh, have they have something in common. Okay, which basically a proper procedure. Okay, so you can say that if you have a good security metric, then it will have, obviously if you go by this, it will solve the business requirements, and also it can be measured. Security metrics have, because it helps in the measurement. Okay, so we can measure the problems and also to capture the metric, if it is cheap or it's costly. Okay, and they, so it can be basically expressed in quantifiable information, so in numbers. So how much secure it is, so it can give you in numbers. So all these things helps in making a good metric. So coming next, you can see a question. So a security metric is important. So first is that helps in communicating performance of the system. Obviously helps in driving the performance process, helps in measuring the data, helps in achieving solutions. So obviously it will be A, right? It helps in communicating the performance of the system. Next is characteristics of a good metric is one. So they're consistent. Sorry. That is consistent in measurement, that helps in system process, or that can provide a subjective measure. So basically, this good metric we get because it helps in the because they are consistent in measurement. So dash could be training the resources, implementing new tools for securing the data, for software to implementing new processor, optimizing the existing processor. So you have corrective action, estimate action, positive action, system action. So you just can be estimate action. Okay, so it should be like, it could be training the resources, implementing new tools. So it is estimated action. So now tell me if you have any confusion. So basic theory, if you go by this materials, you will just understand. And in this slide, like, they have given the broad descriptions. So I think you can just go through it. Okay. So just wait. Let me take the attendance. Okay, thank you everyone. So you all can leave now.
Thank you, ma'am.